come out, everyone Let's Plays them to death. And, people also Let's Play older games like crazy, but I just would like to bring the overall enjoyment and show you guys how much I enjoy playing older horror games as well, and just to show you that they're still fun even though they're outdated and like over 10 years old. They're still fun. So if that gives you a hint for anything. Number 4. Oh no, Norman is being attacked. What do you do? Kick the other guy's ass. I would get a fucking shotgun and blow their head off and tell him to get off him because, yeah, nobody kills Norman. I'm sorry. Okay, so Asian Smarts XD7 asks, what was the first horror game that gave you nightmares? And happy Valentine's Day. The first game that ever gave me nightmares has to date back to Resident Evil 2. That was the first ever game that just scared the absolute crap out of me. I was 8 years old when I first played the game, and, like, being the ratings and stuff at the time, you weren't supposed to, really buy it or play it till you're like 17 or 18, but those rules weren't really as enforced as they are today, and sometimes they're still not that enforced. But, I was running around and, like, zombies were, like, after me, and I had nightmares, especially when I was sleeping over my brother's house at the time, because his house was so old and small and rickety. I kept having nightmares that, like, zombies would break down the front door and, like, come in and, like, eat me, and it was just really creepy. I mean, I was 8, for crying out loud. I had nightmares from that game for years, and I think that's why it left such an impact that I love Resident Evil so much, because it did scare me so much as a kid, and the fear turned into more of like an obsession, and that's why I love Resident Evil so much, if that makes any sense. It's like, I love to fear it, I guess. I love to play it, I love to get into it, and I love the zombies and just everything it does. So, yeah, Resident Evil 2. Okay, so Sashomaru Fan 104 asks, number 1, what do you look for in a good horror game? I look for a good storyline, something to keep my attention, and that won't absolutely suck. Yeah. Number 2, how would you react if Walter from Silent Hill 4 gave you a Valentine's Day gift? I would go, what the fuck? You locked me in my apartment, leaving me no way out, putting a dead cat in my fridge, making hauntings appear, and you have the frickin' nerve to leave me a dozen roses and a box of chocolates. I'd be like, fuck you, Walter. Seriously, though, fuck you. Number 3, would you rather raise a cat from being a kitten or already grown? I have done both, but I think I prefer kitten because when you raise them from a baby, you can train them to do a lot of stuff. They literally grow attached to you. They kind of see you as like your mommy, which is what Mickey does because I raised him from a baby. And you just have like a stronger bond with them when they're a kitten. When they're an adult, if you get them from a shelter, 9 out of 10 times they're abused or they're abandoned. They don't really have that much trust. They're always scared. But when they're babies, they just basically, they look up to you as like security and protection, and then they're just so attached that they're like your best friend ever. So that's why I like kittens better. Number 4, what was your favorite movie from last year? That's a good question. Favorite movie? Honestly, I would have to say it's a cross between Resident Evil Afterlife and the new Harry Potter movie that came out last year. I lost track. It was the Deathly Hallows. I know that, but I don't know what number it is. But those 2 movies were excellent last year, and I am still kicking myself that I did not see Afterlife in 3D. I would have adored it in 3D. Number 5, you found Pyramid Head's great knife. What would you do with it? I would probably run around Silent Hill with it, like, pointed straight out from me and just, like, stab anyone that I came across. Just be like, whee! Boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Maybe it would prove no purpose of protection and it would absolutely suck and it's probably heavy, but it just seems like a fun thing to do, I guess. Sonic2332 asks, number one, what is your favorite video games of all time? Oh, what's one of your favorite video games of all time? One of my favorite. Well, I love the Resident Evil series, and I think one of my absolute favorite games from it would be Resident Evil 2. I don't know why I love Resident Evil 2 so much, because I guess it's just like the way the environment was and just how the storyline went, and I love Claire Redfield, and yeah. So I would have to say Resident Evil 2 hands down, even though it's an older game and there's like 10 times more, awesome games. Other than that, I would have to say another one would be Heavy Rain. I love Heavy Rain. I played that game and played it, and I could just keep playing it and playing it and playing it, and the addiction just always comes back every time I'm on it. So yeah, I can't complain about that. Number two, what is one of your least favorite video games of all time? Lifeline. I fucking hate Lifeline. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. It's for the PlayStation 2, and it was one of the first games that Japan made that was just based on, like, talking, like instructional talking to your character. You literally made absolutely no movements with your controller whatsoever. All you had to do was you had to instruct the girl. You had to go like, look in dining room, or shoot monster. Literally, you would have to tell her what to do. And because Japan was the one that, made the game, and they can't speak proper English anyway because like all their L's are R's, so you would instruct her to do something and she'd do something else, and you'd be like, shoot the monster, and she'd shoot a mirror, or like you'd say, look at the table, and she'd run in the bathroom, and that game just pissed me off to no end. I'm like, oh my god, why the hell is this game even still here? This game is horrible. It did have good potential, but it just pissed me off. I'm like, wow, I hate this game so much. And yes, I did try to play it because I had a demo from it, and then a friend of mine actually had the game, and I thought, well, maybe the demo just sucks because it's a demo and the bugs aren't out of it. But you play the real game, it's the same fucking thing. It's like, oh my god, I'm going to murder this girl. I'm just going to let her die because this is absolutely pathetic. But yeah, Lifeline, horrible, can't do it. I was watching someone who was doing a Let's Play of it, though, because I was intrigued to see how it would play out, because it is such a difficult game to play. It's so easily frustrating. But I think he ended up losing all of his, like, save file. Something happened where, like, he lost the memory card, or the memory from the game, and like he had to play it like all the way from the beginning, and he just basically, I think, quit it. I'm not sure, but yeah, he has one of the only Let's Plays of that game on YouTube, so you can easily go find it, no problem, unless someone else just recently started, which I highly doubt. But yeah. Number three, who is your favorite video game character? I would have to say Claire Redfield. I love Claire Redfield. I love the fact she's like a badass girl, but she has a kind heart, and she's sensitive, she's smart, she knows what she's doing, and basically what I'm basically like in real life. And I think if I was a bit thinner with red hair, I'd probably look like her. But I love Claire Redfield to death. I love her in movies. I love her in games. I just love her overall personality. It's just wonderful. Number four, what got you into video games in the first place? Believe it or not, it was my older brother. When I was a baby, he would sit me on his lap, and he would be playing like Centipede on the Atari, and just like, regular games, computer games, Atari games, Nintendo games, and then he actually taught me how to play games, and it just became fun to me. It was like something my brother and I could do together, and we had fun doing, and we had fun doing for years. And when he would play the horror games that I really couldn't do as a kid, I would be the one, reading the strategy guidebook, helping him along, telling him where to go, what to check. So it was like help. It was like teamwork. And I literally loved the teamwork that we did, like, especially when we did Resident Evil 2, and like we'd kind of coach each other. Oh, do this, go here, hit that, and it was pretty cool. And so I kind of got hooked on the games after that, and I just love playing them. So, but the difference between my brother and I is he likes to cheat on games and I don't. I like to play it first as it is, and then if I had the ability, I would use cheat codes and just kind of laugh like, haha, I did this, or I have infinite ammo, but I would always try to beat the game first. Number 5, last but not least, do you have a boyfriend? I normally wouldn't ask someone this, but since it's Valentine's Day at all, I thought it'd be kind of appropriate. Yeah, it's no problem. And, yes, and this is funny, but believe it or not, yes, I do. I do have a boyfriend. And, ironically, I've had a boyfriend since Valentine's Day. So, you had the most perfect question at the perfect time. We were dating for a couple of weeks and we spent Valentine's Day together and I had a great time. We were just watching movies and just snuggled up and it was just so nice to spend it with someone because I've never spent Valentine's Day with anybody. So it was very, very enjoyable and he's such a great guy. So I'm honored to be his girlfriend and it feels absolutely amazing. So thank you for asking that. Eddie Fuzzy 5 says, I have just one question. Would you please play The House? It's a scary game, and The House 2 is even scarier. I really hope you love me enough to play it. Well, Eddie, whoa, what the hell? Eddie, I do love you enough to play it, but I do have to say that I have played The House before. However, I have not played The House 2. The regular game House is scary, and I did it on JTV, and I think I have some parts highlighted on my JTV channel, which is my live stream channel. But in the future, I will consider doing The House 2, whether it be like sometime like mid this year, like summer or whatever, or maybe I'll try to save it for Halloween. We'll see. But I will consider doing it or doing it again. Or maybe just kind of recording a Let's Play on its own of The House. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff, other stuff to do that I plan on doing, so I'm not making any promises, but I will look into it, okay? Okay? So yeah. Sailor Silverstar says, Woot, congrats on the subs. What to ask? What made you start LPing? I was watching a couple of videos of Let's Playing on YouTube, and it seemed like a fun thing to do. I was watching Catrinonis, and I was watching Sasha Silvermoon, and I was watching Haunting Ground. I think that's what they were doing at the time, and it looked pretty fun. I was like, oh, well, it's pretty instructional how they're doing it, so I kind of researched what Let's Playing was and how many people did it and what kinds of games they did, and then, I started trying to do my own because I was going to college at the time for game design, and part of my homework assignment for college, believe it or not, was to play games. So I had to play games and research them and stuff. So I figured, well, since I have to play them anyway, why not record myself playing them? That way I'm posting them up for entertainment for you guys, and I'm learning something from them at the same time. So I just did it for the fun of it, really. I didn't expect to gain this much popularity, but I'm not complaining that I have either. Are games your main passion? I wouldn't say main passion, overall main, absolutely have to. I do enjoy playing them, and I would like to make one day. But I would still have to say one of my main passions is art. And I think that's how it'll always be. I love designing, creating, sketching, photoshopping. I love doing that, which is essentially part of what game design is as well. I would love to get into something called concept art, which, if you don't know what that is in the video game industry, is basically it's the main blueprint sketches of what comes from a video game. So if someone's looking for a rough, rugged, warrior-like character, then it would be my job to come up with some different looks and ideas of what that character could be, and then you present your ideas to your boss, and then or the company, and then they would look at the different sketches and they'd say, okay, I like the way this body type looks, but I want different armor, or I want different colors, or I want different weapons, and you just kind of incorporate into a sketch, and then once they actually make an idea, that sketch gets moved forward to modeling and designing to actually become a character, what you see in playing games today. So that is something I would like to do in the future. Or something similar, close, related to art for anything. Because there are graphic design positions, where they work mainly with art. They work with like the concept sketches of what something could be, which is what I think I enjoy doing. So it all depends on what I can get, if I still live in this area or if I move out of this area. But games are fun. I would say like it's not a main hobby, but like, or a main passion, I should say. It's not a main passion, but it is still a passion of mine because I do like to play games, and it's such a fun thing to do. And me and my boyfriend play them together too, so it makes it a lot of fun. But yeah, get any more kitties? No, I have not. Do you like Family Guy? I love Family Guy. Oh my God. I watch it every night when it's on like Adult Swim, or I watch the new episodes on Fox. And I just love Family Guy. I've watched it since I was a kid, and I still watch it and I still enjoy it. I love Stewie and Brian. They're like my favorite characters. Those two together are just awesome in their own way. Favorite holiday? I would have to say that would be Halloween. I love